Hello everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me on my third video and the second one in this series about understanding the products and services for each stage of development through LRLaw.com and through the Crystalline path and Sophia consciousness in Lemuria. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so pleased and excited to show you step 2, which is integration. And this is more of the collective framework where you'll be seeing my seminars and then as well as my workshops run through these two platforms. Like I said, these in the previous video, these images are not complete yet. I'm doing this right now to get the information out for you guys all and you guys can understand more of the framework. The finished sheets of this will be on my website so you guys look at it in the future dates. But this really is to serve you have information that's received to you so you understand what's coming towards you and what's available to you and what's going to be even more and more tangible in the next coming days, weeks, and years. So honestly, it's such an excitement to be holding this type of frequency and this type of platform for every individual who's willing to step into the crystalline Lemurian angelic pathway, as well as the crystalline Lemurian light of source self creation itself. So the circle of light is really on the level of like the angelic Lemurian framework. It really is the platform where the tonality of the toning that's created in our framework, in our reality, in our external environment, tones with the energy and the essence of Lemuria, crystalline energy, as well as source within those frequencies of like earth, matter, green, different parts of nature, lights, conduits of experience, sensuality, sexuality, spirituality, and this kind of like connectivity in framework. So the circle of life really is a platform and an environment that individuals who want to be participating in a relationship with this type of energy get to come into play. These are public events that are available for you guys. Not so many will be available through the year, where most of my time would be focusing on the membership portal as well as the programs I'm running in the later stages, but few of these will be scattered around to be live events where people can attend, and later once these are recorded and put on to my shop, these will become events you can look at later, so it's not totally gone, but they'll become more transmissions and they become more part of the lineage of life versus the circle of life, which is very similar but different. But you can also still tap into the circle of light within these seminars because the group work and the framework is working. And that's another beauty about like the transmissions from the lineage of light. The more and more individuals are tapping into it, the more and more it becomes circle light, more and more it becomes a framework of tangibility and interaction between light beings and light source and humans and divine essence and creation, to really meld and work with this type of consciousness that's developing and dividing into Earth's frequencies into different light lineages and light rays and light concepts. So each human race can tap into it depending on the frequency they're holding and then returning back to one. So I hope that kind of makes sense. So I have two aspects. I have the consciousness seminars itself, and then the collective workshops. So the conscious seminars is really looking at the framework of tangibility and essence and energy working together. We talk about grid work, timeline, purpose, methods, how the collective can work with the deeper and bigger programs. So I will kind of talk about like some of the overarching topics and the bigger topics that you see in the membership portal, but I won't go into too much detail because that's what the membership portal is for. So the angels of light really get to work with that context and develop into that source being even more. So the circle of light is understanding the unions and the activations in between the interactions. So the subtle energy starts developing that, or not starts developing that, but starts understanding and playing with it, seeing what that's like. So as they're tuning and becoming more developed, they're integrating it into a framework or a network or into the crystalline grid itself, which is essentially this is what it is. This is playing with the crystalline grid. So this consciousness is really starting to develop the awareness of how this consciousness is mentally and emotionally, specifically mentally and in relation with others, and emotionally when we're looking at touch, sensuality, sexuality, these type of things. When I say sexuality, I'm not talking about it from the mind frame of like how we generate into society. I mean as in like asexual, sexual, in relationship, and union in touch and tangibility and creation and that kind of flow of relationship. So that's what I mean for that. Then for the collective workshops, these ones are very much fun because, as you can tell, I have a personal level or a teaching level, and then I have a practical level. So the collective workshops are really, really fun. The collective workshops, we really start to understand how to work with the grid more, how the grid works with us, which land sites we can go to, which land sites we don't. Like I said, I'm not giving away too much because the angel lights really get the big chunk of it in the membership portal. But this starts to get the collective working in this grid, and starts to get the collective in this timeline and in this grid, specifically this grid. I think the circle of light, and because this is on the beginning stages, we're working with the grid. We're getting to know the grid. We're getting to understand the grid. We're starting to see how we place ourselves and how we situate ourselves and which positions we take, and how this formulates into a bigger framework of allowing the divine union of source to come into earth and meet Sophia and meet Mother Gaia, meet Sophia, because Sophia's God-present light is already present in our collective now. So now we need the union of source to really allow the interaction to occur even more. So this really provides the framework for that. So let's be a little more grounded and more tangible. You probably want to know more information about each of these more. So for the consciousness seminars, these are about 1 to 2 hours long. Sometimes they go into 3 to 4 hours. You're only going to be seeing about 6 or 7 of these per year, maybe even less, depending on the framework of that year. These touch base on collective consciousness matters are coming up. So conscious higher frameworks, so cities, if you're a Jinki person, cities, of this octave of what's coming through. So the consciousness of Lemuria, the consciousness source, the consciousness of Sophia, divine union, this really helps you tap into understanding what is being asked and what's being provided. And then we kind of create like a theology or a listening towards it, where you start to understand on a mental body way more and more that's needed. If there's a specific area that needs attention, let's really look at telepathicness. So we look at clairvoyance, these very basic things. Or if we go deeper and we look into the grid activations that are happening under Lemuria, that's allowing source light to come through more into divine union for Sophia, Christ energy. Like looking at these type of altitudes and platforms, and then looking to see how they maneuver into what's being sent to us. So like I said, they're going to be about 2 to 3 hours, depending, sometimes up to 4. You're not going to see many 4-hour seminars. This is going to be only like once or twice a year. I may bring back my 3-day seminar conferences, depending if we want to do collective grid work or not. That depends on what's being asked by source, but you're more likely to see those in the membership portal. So those will be open access to individuals in the membership portal. You'll get access to the 3-day seminars with an additional cost. But it's the fraction of the cost of what the public, if I do decide to allow the public in. So this is just like little snippets and thoughts of what we talk about in the membership portal a couple times a year provided for you guys. So you guys have access to this amazing technology and understanding and notified like light language that's coming through in multiple ways as well. Light language will be integrated with this, obviously, as that is our main vehicle of source light tools that we're using in this platform. So for the collective workshops, like I said, they're super fun. The collective workshops are really integrating what we've learned so far, thus far, and then working with all aspects of light. We start to maneuver and activate a little taste of scribing, a little taste of coding, a little taste of invocation, a little taste of activations. You really get to then interact with the media and interact with the templates and the timelines, and start to see how you fit into this interaction. So they're really, really, really fun. And then we also look at the different light beings in relationship to the light beings and the star races and what's coming up with the different timelines of like Aurora and Universal Grace Light. So I'm really excited to be providing these for you. These are scattered throughout the year. You're not going to see as many of these because most of the attention will be going into the Angels of Light and the Members of Light platform, the membership portal. But there will be a few of these scattered out with the public. And anybody that's in the membership, they get 50% off. Well, I don't know if it's 50% off, but they get a discount off of this. Definitely. And let's see what else. The collective workshops, membership portal. I think really what I want to say for the Circle of Light, the most main thing is the connectivity portal of it. It's having that activation of sending a connectivity among people and making sure the energy that they anchored in the lineage of light is integrated and interacting into society in a way that needs to. So this is the integration part of making sure that we can behave and act and be in connection to others without overriding any codes, without sending something in a tangent, like really having that ability to be centered as well in our actions. So we're being part of collective now and really learning to be centered in that. And the integration part is also making sure that other aspects, and if anything ever comes and interacts with us, we have a connectivity now or we have a connection with ourselves and source light to really be part of this more and help override any dissonance and disarray that's created in our collective. And individuals who want to learn more about what this work is like when we're applying it and having a practical action and using some of the practical tools that we've been taught in the lineage of light, they get to see this. So they get to take any of the practical tangibilities that we've taught in lineage of light, and this is where they get to play and they work in and use it as a group. So if you have done the lineage of light and you're working, and this is a great platform to play with. This is basically everything in the individual, in the lineage of light, which is individual, now in a collective or in a group setting, which is the circle of light. So this is really exciting and really powerful. And if you look at it in that framework, then you really get to understand, to see what your threshold is in relationship with other people. So you get to see where you stand, not in comparison, but just to see how you interact with the ecosystem and what is your boundaries and what is your limits and how does this go into play so you can interact with it at an energy level and become more conscious and aware. Because when you're building from this timeline, you need to understand the other timelines that may or may not be introduced into your reality. Just so we have sovereignty, and especially as angels of light, we really respect the human development and the human reality, and we really trust and expect other individuals to go on their own path in the way that they need to. So we really allow space for other timelines to occur and express themselves because they need to go on their own personal journey, and it's so profoundly important. So thank you so much for being with me and learning a little bit about the Circle of Light and also the offerings that are available. Like I said, this is a bit more, I don't want to stay fluid, but this is a bit more sporadic and touched upon, and you'll see these kind of develop as they come. And as they go around, you start to see the different programs and events that are offered to the public. So this is a great way to play. I do recommend you to at least have gone through the lineage of light on a self-development level, a self-study level, if not some of the coaching and practicals before you jump into circle, but you don't have to. You can just come in right away and see how you play with it and how you understand it, and then you can sponsulate between the two or even see if you're ready for the membership. So thank you so much. But it's not about being in the membership. It's not about doing the lineage of light. It's just really about how I was initially saying, that collective engagement and understanding the totality of us and how we interact with these different timelines of space and giving room and really practicing the angel of light contexts and theories that we've been taught up above, and about really allowing harmony and space for humanity to become the beautiful essence that they really need to become through their own development, and holding space and connecting to more light beings and more individuals to see how our light interacts and relates with that, creating sovereignty and autonomy, which is very important. Blessings, Buddha de Oya de Hong Je Elohim. Blessings. Unlocking the codes of light for you to come down more, this physical being, to become the angelic presence you need to be to perform in the dance. Thank you so much, and I'm excited to see you guys at the Circle of Light. Much love. Dance with us, play with us, be with us. Enjoy this lovely playful feel of light, crystalline magic.